The war in Northern Uganda has been a very serious situation. It was in 1996 that the government asked people to leave their villages for the camps. This was because of the atrocities which were being committed by the Lord's resistance army on our people. There was abduction, there was killing.
They basically tortured people who could not join them in the war. They abducted young children to make them soldiers. They adopted girls in schools. They basically caused chaos in the whole village by making the community run away, get displaced.
And so the government wanted to provide protection to the people in the camps. And so people were asked in 1996 to move to the camps.
The entire communities here were uprooted by the war, and they have lived in camps for almost 20 years. And in camps, these are people who are depending on handouts from NGOs and from government, relief. They were not able to access their farms. These communities depend on agriculture, but they were not able to access their gardens.
That means that most of the activities, farming activities, which is their principal main activities, farming, was destroyed. And if you can realize that for 15 years in the camp, the children who have lived in the camp for 15 years have not built an activity capacity in farming. And this time now they are moving back to their camps after the end of the war.
Since 2006, since the onset of Juba peace talk, Northern Uganda has been relatively peaceful. People are resettling, they are returning, but this is going to be a long process. This is going to be a long process in trying to resettle people because there are very many issues.
Karma beri kam nya ukelo Livingstone. Karma wa beri kam wano luak peko ma duong to twal.
He said it's called Okello Livingstone. He was the first person to return from the camp. Okay. He said that what the church and the ministry helped him so much is by the time when they came back, they were given oxen. That oxen helped them so much in plowing to increase the acreage.
From the time they went back home and we started engaging them, the beginning steps were that we gave them a little help in terms of training, inputs like oxen and seeds.
They have planted many crops that are helping them to sustain their livelihood within the community here. They have sweet potatoes, cassava, they have pigeon pea.
These people were able to use these resources, the oxen, the seeds, and they were able to multiply them.
It was very challenging, of course, to stay in the camp. Those challenges, immoralities, HIV, even the elderly people were totally spoiled from the camp, like drinking, idleness, because there's no garden.
Above all, these are the people who had gone through a lot of trauma, losing loved ones and losing all their means of production and being brought to the camps.
People had no houses. A family of 8 would be living in a 10 by 10 square feet, even sometimes less than that. And this made the adults a little bit feel insecure, helpless, because they had no activities within the camp. Totally, you would see broken families.
HIV/AIDS is a disease, I would call it a disease for now, which affects every aspect of life, of an individual, of a community, and of a nation.
Anya dobo. Atike mo aparde. Ara ko ke kude to jam. Onyala koto ya matutumia. Baba na to ya matutumia riono. Mama tito ya matutumia rio kerobi. Ai cara me mama na to. Ati ber pa kucha kan wa.
Through Embrace AIDS, we realize that there are lots of people who are HIV/AIDS and they are bedridden in their communities, but they have very little support. One, because of stigma. Communities fear to come and wash you, to come and help you if you're bedridden because of the HIV/AIDS. So we've trained home-based care providers in the communities from the churches. So these people have been provided with bicycles, they've been provided with the kits, so they reach out to these persons and help them.
Ai cara milo tille kera tam. Mandang ko ba arbi. Aleo kera tam kero tino. Otene jam no school. Etika ikara me milo ti wata ko le tam kero tino ku mando kono tino pe marga. Karna da hona class monitor.
So Chairman, what is the problem?
Now the problem here, we have our communities for sale, but then there's no proper road so that we can get a vehicle or market. So we sat down and found that we are now becoming poor because of poor road, and as such we should come out ourselves on our own and prepare the road so that our communities will grow.
When you look at the root causes of some of our problems, they emanate from injustice. They are actually advocacy issues at the community level. And more specifically, they come out of very bad governance. The government, through donor agencies, provide lots of money in order to improve the livelihoods of people. And this money comes. But what happens to it? It is swindled, it is stolen, and these communities don't get any money. But they don't know. And even they don't know what to do. And that is why it is also important for us at the grassroots level with our partners to build the capacities of our groups, our communities, to be able to understand their rights and their responsibilities as citizens. When we talk about transformation development, our emphasis is to see that the communities are really transformed.
We need to see how our people should be developed spiritually. That is a prime role of the church. Preach the gospel, all right. Preach and let people accept Christ in their life. But you should also ask yourself, how will I be able to transform their life? How will they be able to fight poverty? How will they be able to send their children to schools? The church should play a role. And to me, the church should spearhead Even on issues that affect people, social issues like justice and peace, the church should not keep quiet.